Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video, we are going to discuss Roman numeral system. The Roman numeral system was used by ancient Romans. It comprises of 7 characters I, V, X, L, C, D and M, which are used in different combinations to create numbers. While writing Roman numbers, we need to follow certain rules. Let's discuss them in this video. Rule number 1. When a symbol is repeated, its value is added as many times as it is repeated. It means if we repeat a symbol, its value is added. Here we have written I and I. So this is 1 plus 1, which gives us 2. Similarly, if we write X, X and X, this is 10 plus 10 plus 10 equal to 30. If we write C and C, this is 100 plus 100 equal to 200. But for rule number 1, we have to keep in mind two exceptions. The first, only I, X, C, M can be repeated. So there is an easy way to remember this. I, V, X, L, C, D and M. If we start from I and skip one alphabet, so these are the alphabets which can be repeated, and V, L and D cannot be repeated. For example, if we want to write 15, we cannot write V, V and V. This is wrong. Okay. And the second exception is a symbol can be repeated up to a maximum of 3 times in a number. This means although we can repeat I, X, C and M, we cannot repeat them more than 3 times. If we want to write 40, we cannot write X, X, X and X. This is also wrong. For writing 40, we have a different rule which we will discuss later in this video. Rule number 2. When a symbol of smaller value is written to the right of a symbol of greater value, the smaller value is added to the greater value. Let's understand this with an example. V, I, and I. So the smaller values are written to the right of the greater value. 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. This is equal to 8. Okay. D, X, I and I. D is 500. X is 10 plus 1 plus 1. This is 512. Let's take one more example. M, X, 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 I. M is 1000 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 2. So 1032. Rule number 3. When a symbol of a smaller value is written to the left of a symbol of greater value, the smaller value is subtracted from the greater value. Okay, let's understand this with an example. Let's take a simple example. I and V. Okay, so I is the character with smaller value and V is the character with the greater value, right? And the smaller value, that is the I, is written to the left of the symbol with greater value. So this will be subtracted. So 5 minus 1 will give you 4. Okay, let's take another example. X and C. So the value of X is less than the value of C, so there will be a subtraction. 100 minus 10 is equal to 90. Let's take one more example. X, L and I. So value of X is less than value of L. L is 50 and X is 10. So this will be 50 minus 10 plus 1. So this is 40 plus 1, which will give you 41. Rule number 4. If a smaller numeral is placed between two greater numerals, it is always subtracted from the numeral immediately following it. Okay, let's have a look at this example. X, I and V. So here the smaller numeral is placed between two greater numerals. So I is placed between X and V. So if that happens, it is always subtracted from the numeral immediately following it. So the value of X is 10. So we'll write 10, and this will be subtracted from the numeral immediately following it. So this will be 5 minus 1. So 10 plus 4 will give us 14. Similarly, if we write X, I and X, so I is placed between two X's. So 10 plus 10 minus 1. So 10 plus 9 will give us 19. Let's take one more example. C, X, I and V. So C is 100, X is 10, I and V. So 5 plus 1. So 100 plus 10 plus 4, 114. Here we have to keep in mind few exceptions. First, the symbols V, L and D are never subtracted. Second, I can be subtracted from V and X only. Third, X can be subtracted from L and C only. And fourth, C can be subtracted from D and M only. Rule number 5. If a bar is placed over a numeral, then it is multiplied by 1000. Very easy to understand and very easy to remember. V bar. Okay. If bar is written over a numeral, it is multiplied by 1000. 5 into 1000. So this is 5000. L bar. L is 50 into 1000 is 50,000. IV XI. There is a bar over I and V. 4 into 1000 plus 10 plus 1. 4011. So the answer is 4011.